Aquarius horoscope for September 2013 with me, Lada from Lada, and this is for everyone who have their Ascendant, Sun or Moon in Aquarius, just like I have my Ascendant in Aquarius. And if you don't know what your Ascendant sign is, or Sun or Moon for that matter, you can find them out at my birth chart calculator at astrological.com. And the Ascendant sign is always important to check because it's the most personal prediction usually, because the Ascendant sign changes its position every 2 hours, so you're much more unique, while the Sun sign, which everyone knows, if you're born February or part of January, your Aquarius Sun changes just once a month. And it's not like everyone who is born in, January or February will have the same things happening to them, but the Ascendant pinpoints much more specific, because every 2 hours it changes for you, and the Moon sign changes every 2 days, so again it's more personalized prediction. So make sure you check at least the Ascendant sign. If you can, check the 3 signs and you have the fuller picture. And what does September bring for you, Aquarius? Well, first of all, just before I started shooting the videos for Aquarius, it started raining in a very typical fashion in London, but it's a sign, maybe either it's gonna rain on us a lot or on Aquarius. So as we have a saying in Bulgaria, when it rains, when you start something, when it's raining, it's actually a very good sign. So I choose to prefer the second explanation. So hopefully a very good month for us, Aquarius. So what is happening? The first most important thing is that the North Node and Saturn, 2 very important planets, are meeting together in the sky in the 10th house for Aquarius. And whenever these 2 planets meet, something important happens. They meet together once every 10 or 11 years. It's a rare occurrence. And for us in September, maybe you'll feel it in August as well, and October, around about 3 months when the conjunction is very close, you'd feel certain important developments to do with your 10th house, which means career projects, worldly achievements. And Saturn is the planet of hard work and discipline and putting a lot of consistency and perseverance in something. And North Node is the planet of new opportunities. North Node is the planet that wherever it passes, we develop that area of our life a lot, because we have strong desires in that area. And as my teacher Ernst Wilhelm says, when Saturn and Rahu join together, it means working the new. So we'll have Aquarius, especially Aquarius Ascendant, to a lesser degree Sun or Moon, a lot of determination and let's say discipline to work very hard, Saturn, towards new opportunities in our career that come along. Maybe some of you will get a new projects and they'll be working very hard and developing it. For me, this is definitely sure. For true, some of you might actually, because Saturn tends to end the old that is no longer necessary, tends to cut off links for old projects or goals in your life which were not productive, or careers which were not leading you anywhere. Saturn can cut off the rope there, so take off the dead wood, and Rahu will represent a new opportunity there. So what can happen is some of you can, even through some crisis situation, because those 2 planets are quite critical and cruel, as we call them in astrology. They have rough energy. So maybe through some crisis, you might find a new path towards your career, the North Node. You might, through some ending first, maybe you abandon some old project or some old work goal, or maybe some old job, and start a new one. Or maybe you're already in a job that it's your own, you love it, you work very hard, you have a new project to work, a new horizons there to work very hard on. But this happens again, as I said, these 2 planets are rough with a lot of pushing, but you have this push and this drive to go in that direction, and you'll be almost like ruthless, because these 2 planets are quite rough. So when it comes to your goals, to your 10th house is the highest house in the horoscope, your highest achievement, so you go for it. And I definitely like the sound of that, because I need it right now. And also 10th house shows authority figures, and because these 2 planets are quite cruel, you might have some difficulties, or let's say some crisis situation happening around authority figures, around father figures. Father figures are also authority figures. Maybe, let's hope, not the police or the government, or maybe some boss who is pushing you harder, but at the same time bringing some new opportunities to you. So it's a quite interesting and conflicting energy there. Always these planets tend to tend to bring more worries into the life of the person, whatever they join. For us, Aquarius is connected to career and goals and achievements in our life. So there might be a lot more, or father figures, authority figures. There might be some struggles there, some push and drive, but you'll break through. You will have some breakthrough, definitely. And Saturn also is our planet, because Saturn rules Aquarius, is one of the rulers of Aquarius. So Saturn represents you. When it joins together with the North Node, it means towards you, your Saturn, comes the North Node, which is the planet of strong desires, because North Node is supposed to bring new things in your life. And for you to welcome new things, you need to have strong desires. And North Node is a very worldly planet, about achievements, about getting to the top, about jumping a few steps ahead, you know, and about ruling the world. So some of you might get quite ambitious and work very hard in that direction. Some of you might have a bit more crisis situation, as I said there, but don't worry, you will be given also the new opportunities with the North Node there. So interesting month, interesting. It's our advice, if you have some new plans to start, you can do it this month because of this conjunction, you know. And North Node also is a planet of obsessions and strong, even sexual, physical desires. Anything which is worldly, which is of the flesh, which is of the extrovert nature. This is the North Node of wanting to possess, to acquire, to achieve, which is great on the material plane, but not so good spiritually. But you become more desirous, and that's for me. So watch out, you know, because those strong passions and desires can take over a little bit. You might become a bit crazy for 2-3 months while North Node and Saturn are together. Maybe in August, September, October, you might feel like you're willing to do more crazy things than other times. Especially in the middle of September when they join together, exactly. And North Node is the planet of obsessions and addictions. So whoever has those, you know, watch out as well, because they can increase more. But the Saturn energy will tend to, you know, to be more cautious. So hopefully no bad consequences out of that. And also there is another cruel planet, Mars, which is like rough energy, the god of war, is in our 7th house. And it goes there once every 2 years, but Mars is belligerent, angry planet, so watch out for confrontations with others. It's not going to be full on the whole month, and maybe October you also Mars will be there, but you might feel more irritable by others. Others might be more opinionated. Maybe your partner might be a bit too pushy, trying to tell you what to do, trying to, you know, boss you around like in a martial nature, you know, like the soldier marching in and telling you what to do. Or you might react to people in a bit more angry way. But at the same time, Mars in the 7th house of sexual relationships and partnerships can really increase the desires there. And especially with the North Node close to your planet, you know, Saturn, you might be feeling more sexed up, highly sexed up than in any other time in the year or for a few years. So again, watch out what you're doing so you don't do some reckless things with partners. In the best case scenario, you'll have lots of sex. The worst case scenario, you'll be fighting a lot with your partner, but let's hope is the first one. Let's see, I want to give you some specific days. Those of you who are born, who have their moon or ascendant from 6 to 10 degrees in Aquarius, they're having a Saturn transit. This is a different thing. Saturn is sending an aspect to the moon and to the ascendant from 6 to 10 degrees in Aquarius. Or those of you who are born from the 26th to the 30th of January, Saturn is sending an aspect to your sun. And Saturn aspects tend to be hard. They tend to push you to work a lot. As I said, Saturn is the planet of hard work. So for those of you, it's not so much fun this month. In September, maybe you feel it from August, maybe you feel it a little bit into October as well, but it's a time to get yourself organized, to put a lot of hard work, to get yourself disciplined. If you're not organized and disciplined, you tend to get depressed when Saturn is around. And a lot of you might just feel like, oh, I cannot stand this drudgery, everyday repetitive, doing the same over and over, because Saturn requires repetitiveness. I'm sorry, it's the airplanes. And the rain and the airplanes. But anyway, so it will be a busy month. Obviously, you can see the atmosphere around is the same with the rain and everything. But if you have those degrees, Saturn can bring you a bit down. But the best way to work through Saturn is to work very hard, to give the best of yourself. No shortcuts, no trying to be clever and to jump a few, steps without doing the hard work. But with hard work, you'll get good results. The worst case scenario with Saturn transits are you're feeling more tired, more negative, more overwork, more responsibilities. Someone is giving you pressure from the outside. Someone is being more strict and more judgmental on you. Sometimes it can be yourself that you're doing this to yourself, that you're being dissatisfied. But there are always ways to work through that by organizing yourself and by starting to do the hard work. Thank you very much, Aquarius.